This is episode number 48 of Thursday Ketchup, where we discuss our week in shows, games, whatever else we have going on. I'm Andrew, and no Joel this week. He had some issues with the password on his private email account and didn't know there was a show today. Instead, we just have our guest.
Vince.
You've heard of him before, I'm sure.
I am the workaholic co-host that doesn't get discussed very often.
He's addicted to workahol.
It's a hell of a drug.
I've had the same thing.
Except I don't get paid to do it. Damn
Why
it.
not?
No, I just don't get paid a lot anymore.
That's too bad. No games. No nonsense. A more
what's what of what's been going down in Chinatown?
Sort of, but more of how do we know each other? Who are these people on this show? How do I interact with them? So what do you remember of us initially meeting?
I'm pretty sure it was me, Ben, and his brother Tyler sitting in cafeteria in high school, and you kind of just walked up with your green trench coat thing. It wasn't even really a trench coat, it was kind of just an overcoat. And I probably at that point had my nose still buried in a book that I was busy stealing from the high school library.
Permanent borrowing.
Yes, that's fair. And yeah, it's just like, who the hell is this guy? And Ben's like, oh, this is Andrew. I've known him for a few years. He's pretty cool. And I was like, oh, okay. Hey, how's it going?
So starting off with a lie, of course.
Was it a lie?
I don't know.
Is that how it happened? I don't remember, man. I've slept since then, and that's like almost, I actually think it's over double my age ago, or double over half my age ago.
It's just the part about me being cool that was a lie.
Oh, right, yeah.
Everything else is actually as I remember, except there's one other person, Adam.
Oh, yeah, Adam Ellis was also
always hanging out.
Yes.
I think he might be in some kind of mental institution at this point.
That's too bad.
The world is unsure.
For all we know, he's actually in Alaska doing scientific research.
Also entirely possible. So yeah, it's like, this would have been 2002? 2001?
I think 2001, because the 9/11 stuff happened, so I'm pretty sure it was 2001.
Sounds about right. Just trying to remember. Because what I remember the most was us having one class together. We had a couple actually together. We had together.
Yeah, we had two, gym class and then the nefarious French class.
French class is one of the topics I wanted to discuss.
Oh boy.
Do you remember your French name?
Actually I don't. I kind of forgot everything except the final that I did not care about, and you got sympathy points on because you were partnered with me.
That did work out in my favor.
It did, and I didn't care one bit. I did feel bad about, like, doing that to you, but at the same time I was like, this is high school. This is the one opportunity I have to be hilarious and remember it.
It's very true. My French name was Gerard, which I only remember because that was also the fake name Edward uses. Is it Edgar? It's Edgar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or 6. Yeah, it would be 6.
Do you happen to remember mine then? Because I don't.
I do not.
It's probably just something stupid like Vincent, or probably
a
rhyme.
Whole list you had to pick from.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't remember.
Yeah. That's about all I remember from French. I can count to like 20, I think, now.
I can't.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and so forth.
Yeah, you Like, you had me up until, I think, 6, and then after that, it was gone.
Yeah, it gets a little tricky after that.
Yeah.
Oh, and 0. 0 is 0 in French.
Yeah. However, if you go straight across the channel there, it's not.
Yeah, stupid Europe with your places. I don't think anybody in Europe listens, so...
We're good for now.
Should be. What about that final? Do you remember?
Oh, I remember the final. Do I remember the final? I remember we were supposed to essentially have not really a deli, but just like a market of where we sold food and drink. And if I remember correctly, our items were mayonnaise, pickles, and our drink was Le Poisson, or rabbit's blood for those non-Frenchies out there.
I'm not even sure if that's an actual direct translation.
We literally just said, what's the word for rabbit and what's the word for blood, and then we just slapped them together and was like, good enough.
You're forgetting the fish sandwich, of course.
We had a fish sandwich?
You did. You actually drew it. It was like a sardine-looking fish with X's over its eyes, which I always thought was funny. That was like your biggest contribution was the fish sandwich, which
it most definitely would have been.
Those are delicious and very French.
Did I get the other things right? It was mayonnaise and pickles, right? I
remember getting mayonnaise and pickles for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You were supposed to make dishes.
I think we were thinking, like, let's just half-ass tartar sauce, but not go all the way because we had a fish sandwich.
That could be it. One thing I do know is that you gave me your shopping card to use.
Mm-hmm.
Giant, bulky credit card looking thing. It is still in my wallet, and I still use it.
What?
I use it every time I go shopping at the place where it is used at, and to use gas for the gas points.
Oh, wow. Huh.
So it's been very helpful. It's kept me from having to interact with the store employees to get a different card.
That's awesome.
I don't know if somebody else was using it for a while there, because I would end up with points I didn't think I had. I was like, oh, 20 cents off gas, sweet.
I mean, it's entirely possible because it probably shared my mother's account. That's probably where you got it, or that's where I got it. And I was just like, I don't need this. I don't ever have money to shop. Get this away from me.
So I still have that, and I use it all the time, which is kind of funny. I just never bothered to get my own.
That's actually kind of awesome.
Yep, still in there. Still saving money on gas.
All right, well, I mean, since we're going on a trip down memory lane, do you happen to remember the first time that we got pulled over?
There's been a couple, perhaps.
There was only once where it was both of us.
Both of us? There was a roundabout involved.
There may have been going in circles.
We were hanging out with Ben and his brother somewhere.
Yeah, on that one road.
And we were trying to beat them home because they were going straight, and there's a way where you can turn left, and I thought we would get the left turn arrow if we got in the left lane. And we didn't get it in time, and they actually got there ahead of us anyway. But on the way to their house, there's a roundabout you can go through. And being 18 and doing stupid things, I thought it would be very fun to see how fast you could go through the roundabouts.
Multiple times.
A few times, just for fun. Make a couple laps. It's the only roundabout in town, as far as I remember.
At that point in time, I think you're right.
I think they've installed like one or two more since.
Yeah, there's been like 2. If you count the one that's like super far south, I think it's on like 40 or 56th, I think. Is one of them. Anyway.
Yeah, there's a couple way out there, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah. This is the only time we got pulled over together. There was a time where after I dropped you off, I was pulled over.
Yeah, that was entertaining. I mean, how did it feel to learn that I may or may not have been the kingpin of drug smuggling in a certain town we lived in?
This would have been 2003.
Yep.
Because I was still in high school. And I know it was a Monday night because Monday Night Football was on and the Chiefs were playing. Because I talked to the cops about that. They're like, I went to drop you off and you did not live in the greatest part of town, we'll say.
I didn't live in any part of town that could be remotely considered good.
It wasn't bad. It's not like if you go there, you're going to get shot. But it's
well,
like,
yeah,
where the poor people live.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't like, uptown type projects kind of thing, but it was definitely just like, why are you here? Like,
it was behind an Alco, if that gives you an idea of the level of...
if you know what an Alco is, to anyone who happens to listen to this.
Yeah. Very regional, I think.
Think of it as a Kmart, if that's where Kmart's went to die.
It's like the things they refuse to sell at a Kmart because they're too good for it.
Yeah, like they're bad, which is why they are no longer in business. But
yeah, I dropped off. It was like not even that late. It was maybe 9 o'clock.
I don't even think it was that late. I think it was more like 7.
I know it was dark out, but it like just recently got dark.
I think it was still like light, but not like dark.
Yeah,
like it was
familiar now.
Yeah, I think it was because I don't remember getting home that late, but I do remember you going, "What the hell, dude?"
Yeah, I left, and as I was leaving, there was a cop parked on the side of the road. So I went to the stop sign and saw him. Thought, I really don't want this guy just following me around, so I'll just turn here and get out of his way. So when I turned, he made a U-turn and started following me. So I thought, I really still don't want this guy following me. I'll just go down to this gas station down here and get a drink or something and wait him out. So I turned, but there's a 2-lane road. Well, 4-lane, I suppose. And I turned into the second lane of the 2 lanes, which is illegal. You're not allowed to do that. But he just kept following me, and I pulled into a gas station, but the gas station was closed. So I just went, okay, I guess I'll just take off and go home. I don't think he's following me anymore, because he didn't follow me into the gas station. So as I'm going to exit the parking lot for the gas station, I see him stopped alongside the road, ready to follow me again. So I just kind of pull right back into the parking lot, and he turns on his lights and gets out and talks to me. I don't remember exactly, but it was something to the effect of, why were you trying to elude me? You're looking really shady and hanging out with somebody we know to be somebody that is a known drug something or other.
I think the words you used when you talked to me was a known narcotics addict.
Yeah, something like that. I was like, what? The guy I was hanging out with? He was like 16 and we play video games? Not entirely. I'm afraid you might be thinking of the wrong person. So they're like, okay, well, we're just gonna like search you for drugs if that's fine. It's like, I don't care. I don't have any drugs. You can do whatever. Wait, is this? Yeah, I wasn't even 18 yet. I was still 17 because it was senior year of high school. I didn't turn 18 until after high school. So yeah, he just kind of went through, looked in the very minimum amount of stuff in the car. I did have a golf club in the trunk, which was just a golf club I never used. I did play golf. And they kind of threatened that, we're just going to wait around and get like a K9 unit out here to go through the car as well. I was like, this is a giant waste of time. I'm not really doing anything. What are we doing here? And of course, they never showed up, and one other cop came by and they talked for a second. They're like, alright, well, you did something kind of not cool, but you don't have drugs or anything, so you can just go.
Those guys.
This is a very small town. Cops with nothing better to do.
Yeah, those guys were my pals. They were just pulling your leg, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Not really. I hated every single last. I've still been pulled over more times walking in that town than I have been in a vehicle in my entire life.
Yeah, they definitely like to hassle people because they have nothing going on. So that takes us up to after high school. When I got out, it's pretty much when we got into like the second big phase of our hanging out, which was playing card games.
Oh yeah.
I had never played a card game before. I think my mom got me and my brother like the Pokemon starter decks, and that is all I had ever played, was just those with no other cards to go with them.
It's surprising because you picked up pretty quickly.
Started playing Dragon Ball. It was actually GT at the time. Came out.
You didn't start until GT?
I did not. My first thing was a starter deck of GT.
I think we played a few games of Magic before that, though. Like, I had 2 decks on me or something, or you borrowed like Ben's deck or
Ben
something like
Tyler
that.
had like a bunch of decks kind of thrown together.
Yeah, I think we did that once or twice, and then I was like, well, I played this, and you're like, oh, I like Dragon Ball Z.
It sounds like a fun show. I want to spend all my money.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, pretty close to it anyway.
Yeah.
There was a while there where I would go to work and then calculate how much I had worked and made versus how many packs I could buy based on that.
Jesus.
It was a little sad. But I was living at home doing nothing, so it wasn't really a big deal at the time.
So it was 80% disposable anyways.
Pretty much. This was before like you had cell phone bills and all that kind of crap you also had to pay for.
Yeah.
So we did a ton of that, as I remember.
We did dabble in that for a couple of years.
Luckily, we got in at the very end of the game. There was only 4 sets that came out.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I got in at the start of Trunk Saga. So, yeah. There was a lot of money that I didn't have that went to waste there.
Yeah. Fortunately, that's what card games do. Luckily, everything's all digital now, so it's somewhat free to play.
Yeah.
Somewhat not.
Free to play, pay to win.
Pretty much. So we did a lot of card games. We had several trips. We went to Springfield, Missouri.
Did we?
The very last.
I thought we went to Iowa.
It was right on the border.
I'm pretty sure we went to Iowa. Because I remember passing St. Louis.
It was right next to St. Louis, which is like right next to... Is it Illinois? My geography is terrible.
Oh, we went somewhere right up there.
I know because we passed right next to... Not right next to, but we could see the St. Louis Arch.
Yeah. Which is past Springfield, so... But do you remember the name of that laundromat that we passed?
I do not.
You don't remember? Because we all made a big deal about it, and it was because it was called the Washi Washi.
I do remember that now. Oh yeah, was it Evansville? That sounds really familiar.
Possibly, man. Oh god, I don't know.
And that is in Indiana. It's like right on the border.
Huh. The main things that, I don't know, that tournament was fun. Like, that tournament we went to was actually really fun. Even though, for the most part, we did horribly, you obviously did the best.
I was kind of surprised. We went with another friend of ours, Adam, who is probably better at the game than I was.
He decided to go with a slow deck. I decided to go with a unorthodox deck, hoping to catch a lot of people by surprise, and I did. but it wasn't good enough, when you face the world champion's brother who just got a deck loaded full of bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
And then you went with the if you survive to turn 3, I'm gonna be impressed, and then you're gonna lose anyways.
Yeah, had a lot of really fast matches, a lot of waiting around for everyone else to do stuff.
Yeah,
I think there was like 100 and some, like 110 people maybe.
There was quite a few. I remember you placed in the top 8, wasn't it?
Top 16.
Top 16.
I went to top 32 and I won the first round, then I lost the second round.
Didn't you lose to like Orange Shenron or Orange Nova Shenron or something stupid?
Oh no, it was Orange Master Roshi.
Bullshittery.
Yeah, Dragon Ball OVA combo.
Yeah.
Ended up playing all the Dragon Balls. I sensei'd out like 5 cards. 2 of them were Gohan's kicks, of course. Like,
yeah.
Oh, nice. I don't need those against Dragon Ball decks. Thanks.
To anyone who doesn't know, Gohan's kick is the ultimate card that says your defensive abilities suck for the rest of this turn.
You cannot stop all attacks. You cannot end combat in any way. Sit around, take your beating.
Yeah, essentially it was the precursor to getting annihilated.
Yeah, so losing 2 of those when you can only have 3 in the deck was pretty crappy. Yeah, that was really fun. That's where we met a lot of interesting characters.
I still wonder if that guy brought his Rumble Pack with him.
Him and the Burger King.
I don't remember the Burger King. Oh no, I remember the Burger King. He had a teal shirt on and his ass crack was hanging out the entire time. Nope, remember him now.
He was awesome.
And then I know you and Adam got pissed off because I made out like a bandit in all of my trades.
Yeah. You got some ridiculous cards for garbage
some
cards.
Very garbage cards.
Like, sorry, I had to actually be over here playing the game and not ripping off other people.
That dude, I think, had some Dane Bramage because there's no way you would make that trade.
Let's see, you got like a card that they didn't print in any of the sets. It was like a world championship. You must go to the championships to get
it was
card.
It was like, here, thank you for attending. It was an amazing card. Like, just
it's Victorious Drill, if I remember
right. No, it wasn't was it Victorious? I probably actually still have it sitting over there next to me. Actually, no, I don't have any of my cards here. They're over at my roommate's. But, yeah, it was Victorious because Farewell Drill was the super OP one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like at the start of the game, win the game.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so Victorious Drill, which it wasn't amazing, but it was good. Like, there's no reason to not use it if you had the ability to use it.
Cards that break the rules of the card game tend to be good cards.
Yeah, like, one that says, search your deck for this card before starting the game and put it into play. Like, oh, okay. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, that's a little broken, we'll say. For a game that was entirely broken. If you tried to look through the rules and understand how to play that game now, it would take you a month just to get through all of the card changes they made, all of the screw-ups of, we meant for this to say this. This card interacts with this in this way. Sorry.
Yeah.
We did not mean for this card to say this.
But yeah, I got that somewhat overpowered thing, and then I got 2 of a very overpowered card that was also a promotional card of some sort. I don't remember where they handed that out, but yeah.
It's good times.
It was.
Unfortunately, that was the very last official tournament for that game. So we did not get to play too much more. After that, kind of just faded faster and faster until we just all got sick of playing.
Well, I wasn't even really got sick of playing. It was everyone started doing their own thing, and I went into the military. You did your thing. Adam did whatever Adam does.
He does things. He's allowed.
So it wasn't really that we necessarily got sick of the game. We kind of just moved away from it, and then never went back to it because we were like, oh, why do we play this?
It's like only the three of us played anymore, and we're like, I guess we could play against each other, but it's just gonna be the same old stuff. So
I'm gonna get pissed and throw my deck because I don't care to make this stupid OP LOL you're dead decks, or the I'm gonna be boring and stall the game out indefinitely decks.
yeah.
Like, I always tried to find an unorthodox deck that did well. I think I accomplished that a few times.
I think so. So you're supposed to have fun with these games, not just destroy your opponents?
Yeah.
What
is this, Smash Brothers?
I don't know about that. So what should we talk about next here on the list?
Next on the list,
I had military stuff if you wanted to talk about that. It's kind of when we stopped hanging out pretty soon after that for a while.
Yeah, I did some dumb things in my life. One of them was getting involved with a lady over the internet. Don't do that. That's kind of stupid to do.
I agree.
I don't know if you have or not, or if that's how you met your spouse, but...
That's how I met my first girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, there was a stint where we lived together, and then your dad essentially kicked me out.
Well, had somewhat of a reason.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like I didn't have it coming. It was just... It just sucked because my parents sucked, so... Which was the only reason I was really in that situation to begin with. But no, met a lady person on the internet and was all like, "Hey, you are super cool. I should try to make an effort to be where you're at." And she's all like, "LOL Hawaii," and I'm like, "Oh, well, the military pays money, and technically, since I'm not going to college, I'm supposed to try to do that whole military thing."
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, that's actually why I went into the military, was to try to make that happen.
Interesting.
And then when I found out I was getting discharged, she was all like, "LOL, I don't love you anymore." And I was like, "LOL, I hate you."
Bummer.
Yeah, whatever. Live and learn.
These things happen.
And now I just have permanent feet damage because of it, so that's a plus, right?
Who even uses those?
Oh, me.
Well, other than you.
Right.
It was after coming back from that, you started working at a GameStop, if I remember correctly.
I most certainly did that thing that you were talking about.
I remember that's where we kind of met back up again. Because Ben was like, Vincent's working? And I was like, that's a surprise to me. It's like, yeah, he's over at the GameStop over there. I was like,
that doesn't surprise me anymore.
That's, I guess that's where he would work.
Yeah, that GameStop is a different beast. Honestly, if you don't have brain cells, the easiest place to work at ever. Because you're just like, duh, I put stickers on game cases and then say my alphabet and then put the cases in that order.
Yeah, my understanding from talking to anyone who's worked there is it's not as fun and cool as you think working in a video game store would be.
It most definitely is not.
It's a lot of push these magazine subscriptions.
Try to reserve these games because they're not complete yet. And then the best one is try to calmly sympathize with other customers on how their games are really good and you should sell whatever game that they're currently holding on to, and make sure that they hold it for about 30 seconds because that's how you start to feel ownership of something.
And if you can't do that, we'll just cut your hours and
into oblivion. Yeah.
It's kind of really messing with people's livings to sell garbage.
Well, and it was a good thing that I was actually good at the job as far as selling. Picture this, if you've ever walked into a video game store, right, and you ask the person behind the counter, hey, what do you think of this game? I was the Randall. I was all like, I don't fucking care for it, but you're probably gonna buy it anyway, so if you're gonna get it, just get it. Like here's what I've heard about it, and here's what I think about it, and odds are you're sitting here asking me questions, and your 3 friends have already bought it from Walmart, so why are you wasting your time asking me? Just, are you gonna buy it or not?
Ooh, Navy SEALs. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I had to answer the question of which one I think is better, NBA 2008 or 2009 for PS2. I'm like, well, the 9 is better because it has a higher number, which means it has more features. Oh, that sounds great. But it's $4 more. Can you bump the price down? No. All right, well, then I'll take the 2008. Yeah. All right, you're welcome. I'm glad you wasted my time. Can I get back to being bored now?
What was the game that just kept repeating over and over again that you hated so much?
White Knight Chronicles. That game was so bad. It is the only game that I got 30-some hours in and then literally stopped playing because I could not stomach it anymore. I gave it as good of a chance as I could in the entire time that I was playing. I was like, why am I still playing this? Maybe it'll get better. It looks really good on the cover of the box. Why am I still playing this? Maybe it'll get better. It looks really good on the cover of the box.
I vaguely recall you either wanting to or doing a sabotage of the Guitar Hero display.
Oh, you're talking about Rock Band Beatles.
Ah.
And yes, I most definitely wanted to. Actually, that's how I got really, really good at throwing game cases.
That's a good skill.
So essentially what wound up happening was the GameStop that I worked at, that was our local GameStop, had a display for Rock Band Beatles. No big deal. Well, it turns out that there was some shipping errors and our new kiosk never got delivered. So instead of getting the new disc and new kiosk, we were stuck with Rock Band Beatles for about 9 months straight. And if there was no activity on the Xbox 360, it would start, the very first thing it would start with was Rock Band Beatles. However, because they wanted to promote it so goddamn badly, it would automatically start its loop after about, I'd say, 5 to 10 seconds of inactivity. So if no one touched it for 5 to 10 seconds, it would just go into its loop of crap. And I don't care who you are, after about, the 5-month mark, you're just ready to claw your own eyeballs out.
Yeah, when I worked at I don't know if I want to say the place because me and Matt work there together and he's super secret about that stuff.
The place that started with an S?
That place.
Yep.
They played Finding Nemo on the main TV out in the aisle, but didn't actually play the movie. It was just the intro titles screen.
Oh my god.
Where it would just repeat this one thing over and over again.
Like the same 30-second clipette.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you fall asleep watching Netflix and then wake up every 30 minutes hearing the thing going on. Or if you fall asleep to a DVD, I guess. Netflix doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, the DVD where it just plays the menu screen thing over and over.
Yeah. Done a lot of that, especially to Scrubs.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of hearing that intro music over and over again.
But yeah, so I got really good at throwing game cases from across the store to hit the controller to make it shut up.
It seems effective.
It worked. I'd say I hit more often than I missed. And I'd also say I probably impressed and scared the hell out of a good portion of customers.
Very possible. Yeah, after we kind of started hanging out again after that, and the next major thing was playing D&D.
Oh, yeah.
We used to meet every week. I was living where I live now, and you guys still live there. I would come down to do my laundry at my parents' house every Thursday, I believe.
I thought it could have been Thursday. It might have been Wednesday, though. Not 100%.
For the sake of the title of our show, let's just...
It was Thursday. You are correct.
See, it makes sense why I named the show what it's named now.
Yes.
Yeah, we started playing 4th edition, it was?
Maybe it was 3rd. I don't quite remember. Maybe 3.5. I want to say 3.5.
Whichever one basically made it into a tabletop RPG more than use your imagination RPG.
Oh, I have no idea, man.
Yeah.
It was really however far you wanted to take it. I mean, maps were always used even way before then, so...
That's true.
Like, yeah. I was using maps when I was like 7, so... I remember we did whichever D&D we started with, and then we did like a GURPS thing, and then we went back to D&D, and like none of the sessions ever went past like week 5.
Yeah.
Because there would be family squabbling, and then someone would get pissed, and we're like, well, this is awkward now.
Yeah, there was a lot of games that ended in that way. It's like, we're starting with these 5 people. Now 2 of those people hate 3 of those people. Now this one person hates everyone.
Yeah.
Guess we're done now.
Yeah.
Nerd rage is a real thing. And it's,
It especially is.
We all have plenty of it. Especially when you're like in your early 20s. And think everybody knows everything.
Especially yourself.
Very true.
Now I'm in my early 30s and I just realized that nobody knows a damn thing, especially myself.
I assume everyone is as dumb as me.
But I can pretend to be smart.
We did a lot of that. That was always fun. I enjoyed those despite our fighting.
Yeah. Let's see what happened after that. I think right around there is where I kind of fell off the radar again and moved up to Kansas City.
I think that happened. I remember we were still kind of playing games when I found out I was having a kid.
Yeah.
Kind of put a stop to a bunch of that.
Yeah, that's right. You had the kid, and then I think like a year after, like I just disappeared without saying really anything to anybody.
That seems familiar, because I couldn't remember exactly what happened. It was like we were hanging out, things were fine, but I was busy with stuff. It was like, alright, everyone's disappeared now. What happened?
Yeah, no, I remember exactly what kind of wound up happening.
Oh, yeah, I kind of do as well.
Yeah, Ben I think he went back to college, didn't he? Or something?
What I remember was he moved out.
Yeah.
And was working at a place.
That's right, yeah.
He got laid off and had to move back into his house, and then you were living with someone and said, hey, you can come move in with us. You've got he had some kind of job that he hated. He was living with
Ben hated
for a bit, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot that Ben moved in with me there for a smidge.
It was for a little bit.
And yeah, because my crazy batshit ex. That's right. Yeah. And then, yeah, I totally hated my job. So we were kind of just like miserable together, and then she was there, and then that was awful.
Ben met his wife.
Yeah.
And they started kind of just hanging out together all the time, and he was never there, so he moved out.
Well, yeah, and that was part of the whole my ex thing. Yeah.
Yeah, she was eccentric.
A number. She was a number. And then the other part that really made Ben go, you know what, F this, was when my mom moved in.
I did not know about that.
Yeah, so we went up to Larnard to get my mom out of the mental institution. And she didn't have anywhere to go, so she stayed with me for like 4 days. And like the entire time, she was just like being a giant child. And apparently at one point in the middle of the night stumbled into Ben's room. Yeah. And was like, could you help me with... And he's like, I'm fucking sleeping, go away.
That sounds right.
And then, you know, came up to me and was like, dude, your mom is making a nest. You need to stop it. And then I finally got my revenge and kicked her out of my place of residence. Good memories.
Yeah.
Especially watching her burn the title to her Jeep like an idiot.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, that was probably the stupidest. No, never mind. But it was pretty stupid. I was going to say the stupidest thing she's ever done, but I mean, we both know better.
I've heard a thing or two about a thing or two.
Cough me, cough.
Other than that. Yeah, I didn't remember exactly when you moved or where you moved or what was going on. I do recall this now. You moved to like a super shady area of Kansas City.
Yeah. So hold on, let's go back in time before Kansas City. So after that whole thing happened, then me and the ex became exes, and then I moved out, and then I moved back, and then I moved out. Or no, I moved out and then moved back, and then she moved out, and then I roommated with the people upstairs, and then they kicked me out with a 24-hour notice because reasons. I think it was because their dog kept coming into my room and shitting on the floor, and then I would yell at their dog, and they were like, you can't do that. I'm like, then keep your dog from coming into my room, A, and keep it from shitting all over the floor, B. But then, yeah.
I think that was a simple equation.
But yeah, so they kicked me out, and then I moved in with Ben for a few months, and then moved to the place that I moved to before I moved to the shady part of Kansas City.
It's a lot of moving.
I've been known to do that a time or two.
You were born a rambling man.
I lived in so many different places throughout my life. I mean, I was in 6 different school districts in the 3rd grade alone. So
that's a little crazy.
Yeah. Pretty insane.
So, yeah. It's pretty lucky. I lived in the same house.
I was going to say, you've lived in, like, what, 4 different places?
Let's see.
Maybe 5?
For 18, 19 years.
And then
the house.
The house, yeah.
Then to my apartment. And then a different apartment. And then a different apartment in the same complex. And then my house, so...
6 total, technically.
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean...
That's right.
I've got you beat on so many levels, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean...
Turns out family stability is kind of an important thing.
Yeah, that would, I don't know what that is, so...
Yeah.
Hell, I don't even know what regular stability is, because I got broken feet.
Reminds me, I just watched like the last 3 episodes of Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, did you watch the newest one?
Episode 9?
Yeah, the ABCs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was certainly an episode. It reminded me of, I don't remember, it must have been the 8th episode with all the memories where one of them was Rick making the extremely level area. It's to live in
Yeah.
this obscure world.
But it's just so funny, that part, because he like makes it completely level and then like just stands there, puts his hands out like I told you so. I told you so. And then he's like, I can't. What my life is over.
It definitely paid off the original like lead up to. I was like, okay, what's going on here? This is a little insane. He's this upset about an air bubble. No level. Okay, it paid off, so I'm okay with it. So we made it pretty much to the end of the list of things I had. We were officially, more or less. That's the broad summary.
Yeah, that's about the history of Andrew and Vincent, I think.
See, and before we started doing this show, it had been
4 years?
Several years.
Since we last really did anything?
Yeah, I was doing kids and work stuff. Well, kid and work stuff. I didn't talk to anybody.
I was being a useless human being and doing work stuff.
So that's kind of the basis of the show, was to talk to the people I should be talking to, but do not.
And even still, in our off time, we don't even talk, because we're reclusive pieces of crap.
Pretty much. I like to spend my free time being by myself.
Yeah.
The limited amount that I have.
Actually, that's kind of a lie. I think the most recent time that we've talked in between shows had to do with your brother.
Yeah, I do believe so.
But even so, that was like, what, 2.5 months ago?
Yeah. It's been a while, at least. Yeah, we're coming up on a year on the show next month, so
Ooh.
We'll have like a anniversary nothing, because I don't have anything planned.
Yeah, we don't celebrate crap.
Yeah, we're all Jehovah's Witnesses, actually, so
Oh, man.
I don't recognize any of that.
I thought Matt didn't want that to get out.
Sorry, Matt. There's actually a fairly big population of them where we grew up.
Yes.
It's kind of weird. I would not have suspected it.
I wouldn't suspect anyone would want to walk door to door in that town. Like, you are liable to get stabbed and sold for your organs so that they could purchase meth. Like, what are you doing?
Meth is very important, however. Alright, so we're close to an hour, so I guess we'll just call it good for now.
Sounds good.
Maybe we'll do some more in-depth stuff another time. Get into the real
Meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Or the ketchup of it.
There you go.
Ah, I'm learning.
See, it's all puns. So, yeah, plugs. YouTube. Every day of the week. Something new. Fun stuff.
Check it out. I haven't, but I might here soon. Probably sometime tomorrow or the day after, because I'm supposed to be sleeping for work.
Sleep is for the weak.
Yeah.
And narcoleptics.
And, drug-induced comatosis.
If you need some meth, I know a town.
I know a whole town.
An entire town of meth. Reviews on iTunes, all that boring crap, whatever. If you want to be on the show, I can dig into your childhood and bring up bad memories if you'd like. Just email us thursdayketchup@gmail.com.
Not mail as in Chippendales mails, but mail as in you got a letter.
Exactly. Other than that is all for this week. Come back next Thursday when we will catch up again.
We will catch up real good.